And we're live. Happy Friday, everybody. And here is Silvia, the invisible woman. Actually, Sylvia's running and doing a few errands, so she told me to get everything started. So that's what we're doing. So I'll give a few minutes for some links, not links. Oh my God, some notifications to be dropping. I know that the one for Bobby and Selena's show that they do every Thursday. Mine didn't drop until like they were like 3 or 4 minutes into their show, which I just it's crazy how YouTube, will do notifications. So anyway, I hope everybody had a good week. There is a hysterical young lady on Instagram, and I didn't think of her till the last minute when I started typing into the chat. We made it through another week. She's like, she wears pink, she gets dressed up really fun, and she actually can sing in like Latin or whatever, and she does this hysterical it's like old fashioned Latin singing like you in church, and it's like and the talking. We have just made it to. I mean, she's hysterical, and she goes, but she's all about making it to the end of the week, and she quotes Freddie Mercury. She's hysterical. Let me see if I can find it. Hey, Jax, what's going on? And there's another woman, North Omaha Cat Lady. You guys got to check her out. She's absolutely hysterical. Cult Mother Tara, while I'm here, I also recommend her channel. I've come across some really cool Monty Mater. She's really good as well. Hello, Mona Ligaya. How are you, my dear? And they're not going to show me her, but there's another. Oh my God, Ruben K. He's a drag queen comedian. He's absolutely hysterical. There's a Carissa Hendricks. She goes by Lucy Darling. Recommend her. And I just don't see it coming up for the lady that I'm telling you. They're not showing everybody. I'm sorry. I just got a text message. Let me shut the turn. Yeah. So, but I just wish she would have popped on my feed so that I could share her. But yeah, she does this really cool. I'll have to find out. Was out with Gaia. Where are you all? And Tom, hello, Tom. Good to see you. Loving, like I said earlier. Come on, Moss. Come say hi. The new profile pic. Well, come here. Come say hi. Say hi to people as they're coming in. So Sylvia will be joining us shortly. She told me to go ahead and start. And so, second appearance today. Oh my goodness. What's this all about? Say hi to cousins Bosie and Gimli and Uncle Tom there in the chat. Uncle Tom's cabin. And there's Beth. We see Beth. We see Miss Nancy. And we see Miss Mona. And Sassy Boo is in there. So yeah, it's another Boo. So, mwah. So I'm going to put you back down now, okay? All righty. Or can you stay up here and be a good boy? Just don't stick your cat butt into the camera. I'm sure that will be greatly appreciated by all. So it's rare that he, wants to be in here during the live anymore with me. So yeah, we'll get started. Hope again everybody had a good week. So while we're waiting for Sylvia to join us, I wanted to share something. Well, I'll wait for her. As some of you, well, I'll just wait till she gets here because that will, so that we can all have a discussion about it. But yeah, thank you everybody who, oh, now he's eating plastic. Hey, get away from the plastic. Who's this cat with plastic? So thank you everybody who had joined. I'm just getting adjusted here because I smacked my knee really bad just before the show. So I'm hurting a little bit, but we'll be good. And here, the invisible woman has appeared.
Hello. I know I heard you like, I want to say something, but I'll wait for Sylvia. I'm like, I want to hear it. So while you share it, I'll have my orange. Hi,
so,
everybody.
so we're just going to say hi to people. Mozzie was just here saying hi. So we have Jax, and yes, we're sending Jax a lot of love and healing as she's going through a very difficult time. Thank you for putting in all the links. Mona is here. Her name is Mona Lee Seraphim, but I call her Mona Lee Gaia because she's described her beautiful orchard, her gardens, everything. And I'm like, oh, that's Gaia energy
You know what's
right
funny?
there.
I would think there'd be more Mona, but that I don't hear too many of Mona. Do you have that?
So there you go. You got a unique channel there, my dear. Well, not this dear. This is Tom. Tom does, his channel when he wants to or when he feels like it. But no, thanks, Tom, for being here. That's my little bro I mentioned. And again, everybody who joined us for the live art that finished about an hour and a half ago. Lori Craigie Brooke Witchery, I highly recommend subscribing to her channel. She's an amazing artist and she does these lovely videos of video responses and doing honorings for the Morgan for Santa Muerte. Just a really lovely lady, one of our fellow Canadian friends up in Nova Scotia. So she joined Jonathan and I. And Jonathan says, yes, for people wondering, they still having the storms in Hawaii. He says they're still cleaning up after, the devastating floods, but him and his husband and his son and their fur babies, they're good. They just have some floor damage. So he appreciates all the well wishes and the thoughts that people have been sending out to him. And she says, I was out with Gaia. I bet you were. We have Beth. Hello, Beth. And we have Miss Nancy joining us. And everyone's saying hi. And let's see. Are we all caught up? Oop, wait a minute. Heather, what? Get a baggie full of ice. Oh, please. Yeah. I took one of those dual action Advil, but I have this table and it's got thick wooden legs that I've been trying to move around so that I clearance and just, things have been fine until just that one time, right into it. Even Shan had to come running. Well, he can't really run, but he got here as fast as he could. But I'm okay. I'll be all right. So
I've noticed
Sybil,
though, you've been much happier since you moved. I know the
well,
little, like the,
much.
I hope.
Yes. But we've got some things. Well, we'll get into that in a bit. We have Sybil, which is Tina. Hello, Tina. And then
Okay.
we have this crazy broad right here, a bit intuitive. I don't know who let her in. Oh, I thought I was going to get a laugh out of her. She probably didn't hear me. So, all righty. And Allison is here. Hey, girl. Hey. So, all righty. Well, I had to share with everybody. And this is crazy, Silvia. I just got a text from Allison today. And she was like, oh my God, I just found this out. And you're having Sylvia on tonight. Oh my goodness, the coincidence. I'm like, what? Because she's like, how ironic, don't you
Why?
think? So remember a couple of years ago or a year and a half ago, we read on Nazia Harris. The young,
He
he
can't.
killed her. Yeah, apparently he quote unquote took his life. So for people who don't remember, Nazia Harris was a young girl, 13 years old. She went missing in Detroit about a year and a half ago. And turns out that she was pregnant by and I don't worry about language because I don't monetize, but her along with apparently a whole trail of other young girls. He was a serial rapist for young girls. And he he pleaded guilty to taking Nazia's life and her unborn child, which was his. There was some sort of rumor that her body might have been put into the Rogue River or something that's nearby. They haven't found her yet. He was sentenced to basically 6 consecutive sentences, and 2 weeks before, after the judgment, they found him that he took his life. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe something else, but
Oh, really?
I mean, people
Oh,
have
right.
feelings about people who hurt children, and I mean, 13 and younger,
That's
Nazia.
true.
So, um, but yeah, I was just like, oh my God. Allison goes, didn't you hear that? I'm like, no. His name was Jarvis, and his last name was Butts. So he was an asshole to begin with. Get it? Butts. Asshole. Anyway,
Nadia. Oh, thank you for spelling
but
that
it
out phonetically.
was, but it was crazy that you were my guest tonight, and I just found this out, and you and was the one that joined Jackie and I, and
And you know
that
what's funny?
video.
You know what's funny? Like I was watching you and Jackie. I'm learning. I like to learn. I'm listening to you guys, and I'm like, let me try it. And you're open, and that's the first thing that showed up. No, and I mentioned it to you. You're like, sure, and that's when you got so many people replying
We
to you.
we had I had to shut off the comments.
Right.
We had over 17,000 views already on that case that we read on.
I honestly believe the divine went through me to make sure you, Jackie, and us went because you know what I mean. Like it came to me, and that was a very important. It's just
That's when
crazy.
you trust your abilities. You trust
Yeah.
in yourself. And Allison said he was found dead yesterday morning. Michigan State Police is investigating, but right now it's being called a suicide. And for me, guilt. Yeah, I meant to say guilty coward. Yeah, and cat. Yeah, I mean, for
But I
people
know
who,
you mean because even the criminals don't like those type of criminals, right? That's where
so
you're coming from. Like it might have
yeah,
been.
there's a lot of people who hurt children. Um, for me, it's either that he didn't want to face up to what he took the coward's way out, or though I shouldn't. Well, let me back up because not everybody who gets into a place in their mind in their life where they take their lives, that's not being a coward. For some people, I'm just saying in his instance because of who he was and the POS that he was. People don't know what probably POS means. And if you don't, piece of shit. So anybody, anyway, so either he wanted to take, didn't want to deal with the time, deal with what he did, or again, maybe he knew what might have laid ahead for him in, in his future, being, incarcerated with those individuals, or that he was already taken care of before he even got there. So, but yeah, Elsa says all the channels have covered her, have had tons of views. Still, it was a big case in this area, and everyone was disappointed that it did not go to trial. Yeah. But our video like 17,000. I mean, I haven't been to and this is my old channel. So if anyone's like, I don't see any of that. This is when I left the channel up, Indigo Jaguars, when Jackie and I were doing the true crime, and we had Silvia on, we had Allison join us for a couple of cases that we looked into. Sharon from Strawberry Rhubarb Tarot, and Hershey Shadow Reader. She did a couple with us on the Delphi Girls and a couple of others, and she would bring her spirit box. So yeah,
I have a question for you
sure.
because it was your channel. Even though I can only imagine how many people I had a few email. I had somebody find me on Facebook. I had somebody find, and I was like, I feel for Heather because I had a few.
Oh, I
And
had quite a few, Jackie and I. Yeah. And we kept telling people there's not going to be a follow up. They want to say you got to read again. And Jack, we all agreed, all three of us, that we don't think that there would have been any other information. Now, for me, the only way I would do cards is just to see if she will be found. If
mm,
there's any sign and look, in the cards to see if she'll be found. and or really what was the root cause of, but for me, really, it doesn't matter because I mean, I can do that privately, but for me, it's like, it's, one less cockroach, you know, on the planet. And even then, because it's like, yes, people do horrible, terrible things, monstrous things. And I have to stop and wonder what the hell happened in their life that got them to the point of who they were, that they grew into,
That
what
would
they
be a good tarot card, like for a enlightenment perspective, not as a nosy person, because we don't
yeah.
want to tap into that energy. But like the spirit tell us, an
Mhm.
enlightenment state. Wait, like how
Yeah.
could you know? That would be that's I like that angle.
And yeah, so a lot of unfortunate. Now, the one thing I will say is a lot of abusers go on to abuse. However, I was one that was abused, and I had a choice. I made the choice. Now, was my situation the same as his? No. But so I just want to make sure that anybody who has been abused, don't think that because others have gone on to become these monsters, that doesn't mean that that's going to be your life path. We all choose our path. And going forward, he knew what he was doing, was wrong. So I don't want to, this conversation
I do
isn't.
find it wild that Allison told you, and here
Yeah,
I
a
am.
few hours
That's
before,
crazy.
yeah, while I was out, she goes,
That
"Wait
spirit.
a minute, Sylvia's on with you tonight." Yeah. Well, did you hear about Jarvis? I'm like, who the f is Jarvis? I mean, I've forgotten about, And
You
she
know,
goes, "No, Nazia and I went." Oh, so it was so coinky
and we're woo woo, so we those sign and synchronicity. It never gets old, right, guys? I mean,
dinky.
it never. It's always
Yep.
like wow. Um,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe bring some of
yeah.
those kind of readings back again. I know that Allison and I have been privately, along with Nancy, pulled a few cards on Nancy Guthrie that's currently missing.
Oh,
And we've been getting some interesting cards.
mm.
So, a lot of, love and support out to, there's just so many, and it's, again, there some people have a certain amount of, for them, what is ethic to, what kind of readings. And I know that for us reading these kinds of cases, that goes against some people's ethics in our community. And then there are some that are okay. So really, I think it's when you come from a place, because I've been through the internet and some people are like clickbaiting it, like, oh, what's the latest news now? Is this, I mean, I'm just like, oh my God, these are people's lives. This isn't a three-ring circus. And so that's why whenever we did a reading on a case, we made sure that, these were just us looking at cards, looking at possibilities, different angles, and that everybody is innocent. But Sylvia, did you hear about the woman from TikTok
No,
who
what
got
happened?
hit? So there is a woman who is on TikTok. And for the longest time, when it came to those college students that were murdered, I can't think of the name of the guy who's been on trial. I think it was Idaho or something. I never ended up reading on the case, so I really didn't follow it. But this woman, he's already, been. I think the trial. I think he's already been convicted. I'm not sure, but they have their person, and this woman on TikTok kept insisting it was this college professor. She
Oh
was
my
the one
god.
that did that. She was having affairs with her students. And, Spirit was telling her, no, I'm channeling Spirit. Spirit's telling me. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And this is what gives us other readers a bad name. But she was going on about, yep, my spirit's coming through me, telling me, nope, she's responsible. She did this. She goes, they can, people are telling me I should stop saying this, but I'm not going to. And then she gets hit with a $10 million lawsuit against her by the woman, by the professor
Oh,
for
right.
the slander. Now, those are the people. It's just like, Woohoo. So, but yeah, and she was like, and then she did another video where she was like, well, maybe I shouldn't have said those things. And well, duh, you think? So this
Yeah,
is, I
because
don't want
I
people to
mean,
think this is what I do, what we do, when we look at cases. It's we don't make accusations, we don't make allegations. We just look at possibilities.
well, yeah, sure, because you're ruining her career, her reputation, and all that. I don't blame
Exactly. And how's she going to come now and pay this woman $10 million? Oh yeah,
thousands
she's like, oh,
for the
she's
fraud.
definitely a fraud. Oh my God. I watched some of the, because there was a video of someone showing her stuff, and I'm just sitting there going, what the she's it does. Exactly. It gives the rest of us. I mean,
That's why I rather when I do reading, because you guys know, even though I'm working on my confidence, but the thing is, my lack of confidence actually ruins my ability to read because when I get very clear things, it's usually when I'm
mhm,
minding my business, I'm talking to this person, and then it comes right
mhm.
to me. So if I'm too busy going, oh, I don't want to be wrong, and especially when we're dealing with people
Second guessing
and you don't
yourself.
want to
Mhm,
hurt others, because I've had readers read me and they were so off and it hurt me. But that's what I've been working on, and even like the stuff that I've done on my channel. So that's something I joined a 12-week program for mediumship. It's not that I want to be
oh,
a medium,
that's
but
wonderful.
it's part of psychic woo woo. You know what I mean? Like I
What's
want to
like
be an energy reader.
Mhm,
And what I like about this is you get to practice with somebody each class. So she does the
mhm.
teaching, and even at level one, and it's not about being. She said there's no right or wrong. 50% you're if you're wrong, it's the way you're interpreting all that. And I need that. But I know I get very accurate, clear things, but
Mhm.
my confidence, it gets in the way. But that's why I'm like so like I can't believe that woman. She's so like free. She's so free to say George did it and this person did it, and we're all
And
like,
now
what?
she's paying the price. And yes, Tom, I know how you feel about this. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, but 10
Tom is one
million,
of
good.
those. Tom is one of those people that feel like we shouldn't. But I think, see, Tom, I love you, bro. But for me, it's about maintaining integrity in our readings. Now, for me, I know I keep saying for me because I have to say for me because I can't speak for others. You know where my heart is in this. You know I do it, from a place, with integrity, and I know it still makes you upset. But at the same time, we're not accusing people. We're just, again, and then maybe we could reframe questions so that something comes up. We're like, well, but the thing is too that we share, at least in my readings that I can recall when we did them, is the only things that we ever talked about people is the things that were already in the news. We would say, well, this individual was looked at, they haven't been charged, could this card mean them? Possibly. I mean, we were always as, and I know it doesn't matter to you if we are careful and we have good intentions, but for me, I have just greatly missed this because I just felt like I was doing something good for possibly the family and
You
for
know,
the
by
victim.
watching you guys, I always get the impression that you're not saying, "Oh, I know everything." You're just saying, "I'm feeling it out." That's a different vibe than saying, "Oh, I know it," and
Yeah.
I'm just making
But
up.
I understand Tom's point of view because you don't want
Yeah,
to misdirect people. And Jackie and I worked very hard on making sure that, we didn't do that. Did we have, certain shows where something might have come across where, one of us may have, what's the word that might have felt like we had promoted that, but as everybody knows, I always stated in the beginning of these shows that we are not in contact with the family, the police department. This is just some people with cards looking at to see potentially what happened. Maybe give some closure, maybe give some ideas if the family should come across what is it that maybe the victim might want, and then we would always put on my thumbnails that, any information, and it wasn't clickbait, or like, I know a lot of people do clickbait and I fucking hate that. I would only put our pictures to show who the readers were. The main person was the victim or missing individual, right in the center with their name when they went missing. This is, who to call if you have any information. If there is any tip line, I also included that. So it was always about helping the family and the individual. We never take money. Now, in the past, after doing a reading, this was on another channel. Someone did send, but it was not anything a requirement. So moving forward, possibly if we want to look at, so let's take Nancy for a second. Not Miss Nancy, but Nancy Guthrie. So if I were to do a live show right now, and I'll say, well, who's the individual? What can you tell me about the individual that took Miss Guthrie? I would pull cards. Let's say I got the King of Wands or something I'll be like, okay, I'm not saying this is not either a man or a woman. This is the energy. The King of Wands represents da, da, da. Now, this could be anybody in her life. So next question. So what possibly, instead of saying, maybe this could represent, it would just be like, let's look at the energy. So I'm trying, Tom, to replay things. Okay. Let's have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Okay. Unless that individual, I don't think that was a kind reference. I caught a troll. So anywho, our Nancy says, I see it as a kind of walking the tightrope. Intention is important, but one negative hit can cloud the reading.
Yeah, I noticed that I'm working through, because in order to be a good reader, you have to also be able to handle the negative news. I'm not talking about if you go into something. I'm talking general, even the general. It requires maturity. You can't just sugarcoat. But that's funny. Online, they relish the negative news and they relish it. Yeah. But that's a big lesson right there too, how to read the negative. Even it might help you to get to the positive, because if you have to, what I've learned is if I'm trying to see the string, and I'm reading, and then I get the negative, I'm gonna make the assumption about this, stop, or interpretation. I don't get to the rest of the story. Mm-hmm. Who knows that maybe at the end it's not so negative. You know what I'm saying? So
for me, and in general readings, like when we do regular people readings, you can't sugarcoat readings. If there's something in the cards that's saying that, okay, you're not doing the work, you've got to do the work. Otherwise, you keep getting the same cards, and asking over and over again is not going to change the outcome unless you're willing to do the work. I'm just saying with the crime cases, when we get certain cards for certain questions, maybe even generalizing it a little bit more and just talking about energy of an individual and not imply a gender or a certain particular individual in the family. I don't know. Again, it takes a lot of, like Nancy said, it's a tightrope. And of course, we always had certain questions in place for when, Jackie, and I would do it. But it would take a revamping, but I think that might be something down the line here or there. So, okay, here we go.
But that's funny. That's funny that, I come on the day that she tells you about that.
This is the issue for the innocent people involved that just happen to be around the case. Think about how in normal readings, it's not always so obvious what it's about. And a reading sometimes takes, to navigate properly. Well, again, we're not accusing. In the past, I could see, Tom, where when let's say we pulled a King of Wands, and we could say, well, the police are looking at the husband. Could this be the husband? We don't know. We're not making allegations. Everybody's innocent until proven, guilty. But this could possibly be a possibility. Now, for some people, that still they don't like. That's something that I'm sure Tom still doesn't like. So trying to figure out to navigate, how can we look at these cases from a,
I think with the questioning,
But it's hard to please everybody too with how, but for me, it's all about integrity, So hello, Moira. Hello, my dear. How are
that's
you?
good though. That's good quality you have. To be because people to make up stuff. It's one thing if you're just wrong, but there are people who don't care that they're wrong and they make it. They
Well, that's stuff that we don't do. But for me, when I was saying is that trying to, not necessarily influence. I mean, so let's say we
You know what
had,
I would like to hear? Again, going back to
sure.
the type of question. Like for example, you may not want to do this, but the question like, what would make a person who without going to his energy choose that path? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
being, I would, cause that is a bigger picture kind of thing.
more
Like
general.
more
Yeah,
like
you're not
that.
singling out.
Yeah.
So for people who are coming in, Silvia, you may remember her at her other channel, Colorful Foresight. I actually really, I mean, I support the new channel name, but I will tell you, Colorful Foresight was a kick-ass name. I really love that channel's name because of being an artist, colorful. I love that and putting it with the four. I absolutely. But
You could
her,
use it anytime you want. We could
she's
do
now a
that.
bit. So how did you come? So what made you want to change your channel's name? Let's talk about that. Let's
Spirit
switch
told me.
gears.
Spirit told me to change it.
Okay.
So I did. See,
All
the
right.
reason for colorful foresight, it was really, first of all, Spirit just told me. You know how you guys know when you get the name, it just comes? Like it's
Yeah.
easy. And it was more like to see things in uh, a brighter side to things. What happened?
Tom's laughing at me because my channel names, people pick on me saying, "Oh, Heather, your channel name is so long. What a mouthful." That's so Tom. It's just it's like, schmack. Continue, my dear. It's up
Um,
with the humor.
yeah. And so that how it came. I know I like colorful foresight, but it's just like
Mhm.
changing name.
Well,
So
you outgrew it. Like I
maybe,
outgrew mine.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's funny. People like, you mean colorful insight? I'm like, no, foresight, because it's not so easy.
No, I thought that was a great name, but a bit intuitive. Now we're connecting more with our
Aren't we
intuition.
all a bit intuitive? I mean, everybody.
Oh my
Some
goodness, we
more
all
than
are. We all have. Yeah. And Cat Goddess said, right, I always hated clickbait stuff as well. It's like, I'm like, there's honestly so many other ways for viewers to be attracted to them that's more authentic, like manifesting it, reaching the right people. Thank you. Thank you. Because in the past, we have been told that our readings privately have helped people. We have had people who we have read on that reached out to us privately through email that we've done shows on that were like, we got an idea. Can you just kind of maybe confirm or this certain aspects? And they were just like, thank you, And at one point, Jackie and I just kind of had to, because some of them start, you get a feeling of where it's like, well, you have to start drawing the line with how many people are reaching out to you for some of these, or the way they ask certain things. And they're ones that Jackie and I just know for us spiritually, energetically, no, we're not going to touch this one, or we're not going to. But there have been people, I think, through Nazia who saw our videos, saw the information, how accurate our cards were coming out, and reached out to
you and Jackie were on the ball. I did
and
okay for my first time.
well, don't knock yourself. People were even in comments
No, I did
were
okay.
acknowledging
I
that they
would
go, yeah, the
practice.
girl with the
Doing,
glasses, the blonde hair, she was really, so we all got
yeah,
credit, in our readings. So there was
it
a
was,
couple
I
private
enjoyed it,
ones where we were
but
willing to do.
I think you have to be mature to handle true crime, honestly, because
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, and
Now, some
exactly.
people like, oh, it's just fun. We're gonna do on true crime, and we use our psychic stuff. I'm like, this is deep, guys.
No.
People getting hurt and stuff.
It's our human. That's it. We always take it from a place of respect. It's for and I hate saying it's for entertainment purposes only because somebody's stuff is not entertainment, but it does have to go into that category or else. other things. But yeah, it's something you personally wouldn't do. I get it. So, and some people are like, well, you don't want to read on politics, but you'll read on true crime. I'm like, yeah, because those people, I don't need to be tapping into their energy. They don't deserve to
Their
be. And
energy
my,
is, guys, their
so,
energy is worse.
yeah. So, but it was interesting.
I do with politics, but I'm just saying it's just bad. So.
Yeah, I just can't, no.
And
Every now and then,
there's enough
privately, I
people
might
doing
get
it
a,
now.
huh?
Enough people doing it now. So
Yeah, but for me, I've seen, and I'm not knocking the people who do them, but I have seen over the years where, people that come into chat, subscribers, sometimes maybe even fellow readers who have just, seen what the cards and what we're being told, oh yeah, this is going to come, this is going to be, and it's just like so many people kept getting let down by, readings of, oh yeah, justice is going to be served, this is going back way. And so after a while, it's just like things like this, the energy just changes too much.
it
And
does
it was
every
just,
minute.
I
Hmm.
could see people in chat getting angry, being hurt because they were looking at some of our readers in our community saying, but your guide said that, you know what I mean? And so
But
when
you
it
notice
comes to
who don't say
politics,
that? The
I
one who
step
do the
back.
work and do intuitive reading understand about the free will bit. Nothing set in stone. For example, I'm not going to go into it. I could go into
Yeah.
it. We're going to stop. But notice though, that's why you can listen, enjoy it, but also know that not everything's set in stone. Plus, in the case of politics, there are things about cheating and da 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 da. But I hope that people who are new at intuitive stuff learn by watching somebody like you, me, and that they could apply it to their own intuition,
So
not rely on
what
the
is,
other.
okay. All right. So what's the definition of intuitive to you?
To me, it's just picking up energy. We all have, we're all energy body, and some of us have different gifts. We may feel, we may hear, we may sense. If you're alive, you have energy coming out of you. So intuition is getting a sense about the other thing.
I always like asking people, their definitions.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's why everybody's intuitive. You're alive. Cop have hunches, right? Business people have gut feeling, mother intuition. But the difference
Mhm.
between like maybe, the average person, they think they don't have it. Also, you guys probably have in your family. You work at it 10, 20, 30 years. And it's like Mozart. Mozart was born at 70 years old. He knew how to play piano. But then you have people who've been playing piano for like 20, 30 years. They work
Mhm.
at it, you know?
Yeah, we all
Same
come,
thing
but
with
same thing with
intuition,
artists.
right? By the way,
Hmm.
I saw you. I didn't get to watch it too much. I was helping my mother, but I'm like, okay, she's painting today.
Jonathan and I had my oil pastels, and we were so excited. Lori joined us. She's Craigie Brooke Witchery, wonderful lady. She's up in Nova Scotia, and her skills are phenomenal. She's actually working on a tarot and an oracle deck with her watercolors and her pencils, and she's been highlighting some of her artwork so far. And she was wanting to work more on a oil pastel, and so she joined us for that. So.
There's
Um,
this artist. How on Instagram they have a lot of illustrators. So that
mhm.
her name is something Johnson, and I private messaged her because she, besides doing illustration, she
Mhm.
also do like some words. And I said, you could like make oracle cards from those. I said, you don't even have to try. You got everything right there because she has so many every day. She
Mhm.
had a drawing and she goes, yeah, I did that for somebody once. I might consider doing that. I said, yeah, you have a theme right there. She liked to do a lot with coffee theme or Irish
Mhm.
theme. I said, there are decks for every kind of
There's
thing,
a niche now for every deck. Yep. Right time.
and
Mhm.
and I said, that people are always looking for illustrators. So now she's thinking of like creating a package for that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I got to do something with the ones I painted at some point. I'm still thinking of just shipping them all out to Tom because they want to charge here at UPS $5 per scan and email to me. And I'm like, $5. And if I got like 60, 70 cards, so I may have to do that sometime this year, Tom.
Well, it'll inspire you to make a lot of new ones.
And Cass is true. Nothing is honestly worse than, in my opinion, those kind of readers or people in general who know there is the wrong with the nonsense, but pushing it on others in a cruel, unethical way, especially. And Lexi, $4 a scam you down. But Lexi Fresh she's part of our community. She did a video recently. What type of tarot card reader? I was kind of in there a little bit, but it was for a lot of fun. But one of them was, like we were saying, the people who, especially the young generation, who feels, oh, I don't need to read them or learn the meaning of the cards. I'm just going to pull a card, look at the picture, and I'm going to tell you. And she would, these are the ones that go, oh, oh, bitch, you're going to slay. You're a queen. And one of the Lexi was just, see this, tower card. Oh, he's falling for you. See these people falling? That means he's falling for you. The tower's on fire. He's on fire. All this kind of stuff that apparently these young individuals are doing on TikTok and calling it tarot readings. I'm just like, this is why I don't like TikTok. I really don't like TikTok because there's just too much of that. Tomfoolery going on.
Question.
And Heather, don't you get a better deal if you do a bunch? Like if you do 30, they charge you. I don't know. I may have to go in there and ask, but I know Tom has a really super nice scanner because he's all about the computer stuff. And I have to kind of go through the cards. At one point, it was just kind of like, oh, I can't let these go. But now after they've been with me for a while, I'm like looking at them going, yeah, these are nice, but certain ones I'm attached to, but I'm noticing energetically that I'm detaching from some of them. So who knows? I may actually do a giveaway or something, or do not giveaway, but I might put a small set together and maybe post it to see who might want to, buy it. Because there is a woman, I can't think of her name, but she makes hand-painted tarot cards. They're beautiful. She uses glitter and stuff. And she charges like $600 to $800, I think, a pop, and people pay for it. But in our community, especially nowadays with everything going on, I don't want, that just isn't going to work. And hello, Janet. How are you?
I
Janet
I missed you used to have painting behind you.
Yeah, because I keep moving the room around for energy, but
that one is nice. I like that. Oh, there we go. Yeah,
there's that one. It's part of my series from. I was like explained during the live that over the years I've heard certain songs and wanted to paint. Just listening to the song and see what I get. But I've never done more than one or two. Right now I'm in love with Florence and the Machine's new album, Scream. It's very dark, it's very deep, it's very personal about losing her child, having, miscarriage and relationships falling apart, her trying to figure out who she is, trying to heal, and the music, the color. I've never done a full, a series of paintings from one album by one artist. So I have 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 done, and I have 2 more I want to do, and that'll be, so you go where the intuition tells you to go, right? So
we're basically whatever people call themselves, psychic or psychomedium, whatever. We're basically energy readers. That's what it comes down to.
And depending on what you're born with and what your capabilities are, like my sister, she was born with being able to see stuff, and she completely shut it off. She wanted nothing to do with it.
We have something in common. My sister is so good. You want to hear a funny story? I'll share you. So she's the type that, when you share your woo-woo, she's like, yeah, whatever, right? But then if somebody tells her, she's like, yeah. So she had a coworker who had a cousin who does, medium stuff in a group. so up to 10 people. So she went, and my sister gets a lot of anxiety. A lot of us know what that means. She's picking up things, not realizing, right? So year one, the medium said, you have the ability. She's like, oh no, I don't want it. I don't want it. And but she enjoyed the process. So they were doing this once a year. So the following year, she goes, I keep hearing them and I see them. I don't want it. And he goes, well, you have to tell them you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
hear them. And the other people in the group like, I wish I had that ability. And they're like, and she's like, no, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
So then the following year or 6 months, whatever, she goes, okay, I don't hear them, but when I sleep, I see their faces. I told them I don't want to see them. And he laughed. He goes, well, you have to tell them you don't want to see them. You said you didn't want to hear them.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's like we have
You
to
got to lay down the rules.
we
Yeah.
have to lay down the rules. So it's same. She had it naturally. She's open to talk about seeing my dad and stuff. But I said, if you're really good and you practice, you get to help others and you can make a decent living out of it on the side. You have the real job. She's like, no. And you can't force it because you are opening up.
Mm-hmm.
They're true to like you are opening up. You have to know these things.
And there are ways to protect oneself. Like I
But
know,
isn't that funny? They're
yeah.
like, you didn't
My
hear them?
sister saw my grandfather. She was at work, and the doors open up at work, and here's our grandfather. She got to meet him. I didn't. Coming through the doors, and he says, "I'm here for Eleanor," and then disappeared. And Teresa said that not long after that, our grandma Johnson had her stroke, and she ended up passing away. And I'm like, and she's like, yeah, she told me I just don't want anything to do with, because to her that was, dark, bad stuff or what. I don't know. So, and I'm just like, and you got to watch what I say. I wish I could do that, but you got to kind of watch what you wish for too. But, yeah, she was able to, see things, because the house that we grew up in was, haunted by an evil entity. My sister actually saw it come down at a black, thick smoke out of our crawl space in our home, and come down and rush her one time. And so for her, she saw the physical, and for me, physically, and for me, I could feel it physically. So yeah,
But it's
it's
funny.
interesting.
She used to live in the middle floor, and upstairs I live alone now. But it used to be my father, me, and my mother. That in the middle floor, my sister and her family, her husband and her children. So we never said anything, but we used to get knocked, right? And we used to smell stuff in that
Yeah.
particular corner. So one year we said, I keep hearing this knock, and I keep smelling that same thing. So people, it just go like it's Heather. What I'm trying to say is, it's in your family, just like it's in
Mhm.
mine. Um,
Some stronger
but
than others. Yeah.
but talking about creating boundaries, one night in the mirror, somebody pulled my leg, and I saw somebody go across the mirror, scaring the crap out of me. I was doing Hail Mary and all that, and I called the lady that I've known for 15 years. She started laughing. She's like,
Yeah.
she was literally pulling your leg. I said, I don't think that's funny. It was like a great aunt who liked to be
Mhm.
around my mother. And I said, don't do that again. I said, don't do
She's
that.
trying to get your attention.
I know, but I'm sleeping and
Yeah.
she's pulling your leg, and then I see this,
Oh,
you know, that
well, she
hasn't
might be
happened
trying to
again.
warn you about something that right then and there too for you. Did you ever pull cards on who was doing the knocking at that place?
The
Did you ever
what?
pull cards, do a reading on who the spirits were?
No, I called my friend who does that for a living.
No,
What do
no.
you
When
mean?
you said no, I'm saying like when you heard the knocking
Oh
for
no,
you.
you know
Yeah,
what? I'm into the woo. I just figured it's
so you weren't interested in pulling cards to see who
no.
any information was on. Okay.
And it's funny that you say that because it did often, but once we did the prayers, it stopped. If you guys want to read on it, I have no problem.
Oh no, it was just, and I just wanted to throw different options.
I didn't feel threatened, and I did prayers, and that smell I knew was something. I thought it was like Mother Mary could have that rosy smell,
Mm-hmm.
and but I've had experience, mystical experience too. But we all have stories, I'm sure. So what is your
So
friend
Jack
saying?
said something funny happened today. I was out getting some prescriptions I needed. As I stopped at a light heading home, I noticed this truck behind me with some words across the front window at the top. It said straight out of Fox. I reached down to get my camera to take a pic. When I looked back up, it was gone.
But
See?
you saw you still see the truck and everything.
Yeah, but she says
Mm,
the words were so, I love this because even
yeah.
during meetings recently, I will pull a card and I will see a totally different card there. And I'll be like, oh, this is the card of so and so. And then I'll set it down, look at, and then I'll see, and I'm like, oh, how could I? And so a couple of times I've noticed that an additional card message needed to come out and it basically piggybacked off,
I believe
so.
sometimes we read through the line because sometimes I'll hear something and I thought you said it literally. The the
Mhm.
the mentor I work with, she's like you can hear between the line. So you're seeing other images
Yeah,
beyond.
it
Yeah,
was, and I'm looking at,
that's
and then it
wonderful.
happened one time with me and Miss Tarot D. I'm looking at one card and I'm like, oh, this is so and so. And then I looked down and I went, oh, it was similar to the one that, but I was like, well, it was kind of embarrassing. But then I asked a couple of other fellow readers, has this happened to you where you see one thing and then you put it down and then all of a sudden, and they're like, yeah, it's just another message needed to come through. And Jack, oh no, wait a minute. Jack says the whole truck was gone. That
You know what that reminds me of? A mangled unicorn, and this was
that's Jack's.
kind of related to
Her name
maybe
is Jax.
my
Oh.
mother and her sister were driving. They were on a highway and they had a flat tire. So I don't think she had AAA. This is like 15, 20 years ago. So they would make a joke. They're like, out of nowhere, this handsome man came and he said, do you need help? And the guy helped with the tires. So when he was done, they went to like give him money. The car was not there. The
Mm-hmm.
guy was not there. What is up with
Jane
that?
has similar experience. Yeah, a
So
spirit
there's
actually
a
saved my
handsome
Shan
man.
from drowning. Yeah, yeah, spirit helped saved Shan from drowning.
So what is that about with Mango Unicorn? Like, did you have a bad day? Was that the type of message you needed to hear, like straight out of
Oh, she's got stuff going on, but her name is Jax.
Jax?
Mm-hmm. But but she's got abilities that she's developing on and working on. But I mean, Jax, you being out today again, driving with the kind of pain that you're going through, girl, I don't know how you do it. I
Oh,
really don't know how. She's had a bad week or so. It's a long story,
right.
but
No, okay. We'll keep in
it's
touch.
just been. She goes, I was pissed because one of my meds
And they're making
needs
it a little
more
more difficult.
authorization. Oh man, I hate the medical and everything. But I was saying, well, I think we might do a few resets. So I want to feel what kind of decks, and one I haven't used in a while wanted to come out. And so it's my Resurrection Oracle by Jenna Del Gratalia. And I was just kind of like sitting there going, oh, what kind of messages for tonight? And I'm shuffling and I'm shuffling. And I looked at the card and I went, oh, and I wanted to share that with everybody because of everything that is going on in our country. And I know we have some fellow Canadians in that you all see the shit show that's going on here, and even other countries are starting to experience more of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought this was a great message. And the card is blind faith.
Oh, perfect.
And it says in here, and I thought this was the message for everybody, and it's about complete trust.
Mm.
And it says here, sometimes seeing is believing, but in this case, you are being asked to trust. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and all you have invested in you. You might not see it manifesting just yet, but that doesn't mean it's not coming together as you hoped and dreamed. There is a reminder you cannot see. No, there is a reminder you cannot see atoms until they come together to manifest something tangible. So for me, the main message was having trust, having faith, and knowing that things are going to work out. Um, I
So
hope
what's
so,
no, but
because I
what's the
think
difference, guy? Tell me, what's the difference between having faith and blind faith?
so. You're posing that question to everybody.
Yeah. What I mean, all of you are woo woo.
Well, for me,
Hello.
sometimes for me, blind faith is trusting in something. So it can go both ways. Sometimes blind faith is good, but then everything has a double, edge to it. Blind faith, like certain individuals following a certain dictator, thinking that, everything that this dictator and people are, are saying. I mean, it doesn't have to be him. I avoid using,
No, but that's a great example.
but
Good.
it's so
No, but
blind
that's a
faith
perfect example.
is following something that just because other people are following it, or sometimes having that blind faith is good, but at the same time, there's going to be circumstances when you need to basically get your head up out of the ground, open your eyes, see what's going on, think for oneself, and to be able to move forward. Now, in this deck with that card, obviously, that's acknowledging, having, even though we can't see what's coming, we have to have faith that and trust and faith that things will get better, but at the same time,
See,
again, everything has
no,
a
no, no, but we're
double-edged
gonna
meaning
stick
to
with
it.
the positive and under the context because not everybody had faith. So sometimes it's good to have blind faith, in that way. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Let's see, Irene came in.
I'm gonna pick a card.
Hello, Irene. Sorry, go ahead. Just
You
want to say
married
hi
a
to
teenager
you.
man?
Huh?
Mango Unicorn came out.
That's Jax.
Jax. I'm gonna call you Mango Unicorn. Jax.
So
Hey, Jax.
so Jax, think of jumping jacks. Her name is Jacqueline, but we call her Jax.
Jacqueline.
And Irene is
Let's
one of our
let's
Canadian
add to the
members.
blind faith. You know what came out? It's like a labyrinth looking thing. Blind
Mhm,
faith, kind of like the labyrinth. It's the blind faith that you get to the end. Cause you know how the
mhm.
labyrinth is very complicated. It's not so easy to get to. So that person who keep going around, they're having blind faith that they're gonna make it.
Or they're
So
going to
it's
keep
good
hitting
in
their
a
head
way.
in the wall.
That, and they'll keep trying. They'll keep trying
Yeah.
until they have that. So that's pretty interesting how that card came out. I'm doing, I'm doing without reading the words, like just using the image, like the younger generation.
And let's see, what did Jack say? I'm not into toxic positivity, but sometimes I know something is true or is something I need to do, and it's going to be okay no matter what.
Well, you know
Exactly.
what? There is a 50-50 kind of thing going on. Like, for example, we're seeing the going on, right?
Hmm.
So what are you gonna do? Give up?
Oh, she doesn't.
So you
Mm-mm.
might as well, like that labyrinth, keep trying. And hopefully everybody get resources, people awakening and see finally, like a lot of these people who believe a certain way, you like, it's like somebody who had a bad boyfriend, you're waiting for them to finally see that their boyfriend's bad. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So in that case, it's not like being delusional and going, oh, everything going great, but it's like 50-50. I'm going to give up or I'm just going to continue. Maybe
Hmm.
that's how I see it with the blind faith with that one, you know? That makes sense?
Yep. Some things I trip over, but there are times I just know, go gladiators, right? So yeah, with everything that how she's able to keep this up, and I mean, it's just incredible. Right. Sucks ass whenever somehow things with, oh, they're talking about the medications. Yeah, Jax is having issues because she needs a pain med that doesn't cause her body pain to help her get through the pain she's going through. And it
Yeah,
has probably a
I
type
know
of
why.
opioid.
I know, 'cause I know I have a relative, I'm not going to say a name. She take Tramadol. Now, she only takes one a day. She's older and she has a lot of pain. So it's not like she's abusing it. She's only taking one. and they won't give it to her because of people who abuse it. So she had to suffer. And one thing I got more upset, I heard a cancer patient who was dying and they wouldn't give it to her. Why? You know? But
it is what it is. She goes, I need nerve pain meds, not narcotics. Yeah. And
I find
they're
it
giving
makes
her,
me very thirsty, but I find the CBD oil that had a little THC, it worked really good
Mhm.
with the body, but I didn't like the, your mouth gets very dry and stuff, but it helped with pain. But
Shan
not
gets
like the
gummies.
CBD. Yeah.
Hmm. Helps him because he doesn't like taking pain medication, even Advil. He'll take a gummy, a CBD with a little bit of THC gummy in the morning and at night, so that's his.
Hi, honey bun. I don't know his name. I just go, how's your honey?
Well, he's doing good. We had to go driving. Today's been a busy day. We had to drive all the way out to Medford because we're starting the VA process here for him to get a doctor and get taken care of and stuff. And it's going to be a lot of work. So we're trying to get all of this taken care of before, excuse me, I start my schooling.
That's
Um,
exciting, by the way.
yeah.
You like the 12-week program really making me have passion for something,
Mhm.
to deepen and being with like-minded people one-on-one. Even though it's virtual, it's still one-on-one. It's not like me watching a video about mediumship. It's actually a good teacher who's very
That's
structured,
good.
and you get to practice. And I already got proactive and went on an email because they give you a list that people want to practice. I said, what do you want to practice at the sitter? Because you
Uh-huh.
need at least 100 people before, So how am I going to get 100 people with the people that's
Chat.
already in class? Yeah, but eventually, like right now, I want to work with these people, and then I'll work with, and
I was going to
yeah.
say, I'm
So
sure they don't mind being, guinea pigs. Hey, anyone want to,
yeah,
want to
yeah.
practice? Come on down.
Eventually, I will. Eventually, I will. But going back to you, you're taking a program on a counseling of sorts.
Peer support specialist.
That's great. That's amazing. I'm
So
very happy about
one,
that.
well, Tom doesn't think that 3 weeks is enough to be proper training for me to be a proper peer specialist.
I think it's a
I
start.
picked it on him. He was like 3 week course. That's it. But there's more afterwards that.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. It's like an evolution thing.
Hmm. So April, I'll do 3 weeks, probably about 6 hours a day. And then, a few weeks after that, then I'll start another one that's a couple weeks. And then after that, I think it's a 2 day. So it's all going to eventually. And I looked at, so for everybody who knew, I was curious about the life coaching, maybe getting that covered through WorkSource as well. I reached out to the life coaching company or group agency that works with WorkSource that did my Launchpad series certification. Thinking, see if maybe, so I got information. Well, I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon for Heather to go for
Why?
certification for $5,000.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I get a nice stipend. They're paying for my other classes, but
Maybe you
I
should
think
do a scratchel. You do a
five.
scratchel. You know what? We were talking about synchronicity. Why could
Mm-hmm.
we do that with the scratchel? We got the synchronicity. Heather, Allison, contact you today of all days while I'm coming on
Yeah.
about that.
Get a
Let's scratch
Powerball ticket.
$5,000. Ooh, okay, but we
Right.
need 10,000. We need at least 5,000 in the bank, right? And
Yeah.
then,
But I don't know. I mean, it's a lot. But when I see Joanna
but then
next week,
expensive those life coaching
I'm
things.
going
But it could be
to I'm going to let her know that. Well, this is the price. I don't think they'll be able to work, but who knows? And I was really nice to Leigh. I said, well, then this might be a goal for me next year. I appreciate you reaching out. So
that's nice. That's
we'll
good.
see. Yeah.
You know what?
So
If
this is
not this,
talking about.
something else, right, Heather? If not this, something else.
Well, I take it as each thing is not quite yet or not quite part of your path or just,
Right,
that
exactly.
7 of Pentacles. Gotta have patience. Yeah. So they're still talking about, we're just good because they're talking about the medical and let's see. I can get you $5,000. Show me the bank. And if the cops ask you if you know me, you don't. Oh, you're funny, Shelby.
And you know
Let's
what? You're allowed to say no. So that was good
yeah,
that you did that. I mean, you did it in a way that makes sense.
yeah. So, they're talking about, medications and stuff. Tom, let's see. Jackson, I've taken a lot of drugs over the years. Yeah, everyone talks about gabapentin. And it's so interesting how medications affect us all differently. For me, it helped with certain aspects of my mental health. However, it made me nasty. It made me very reactive, to the point where Shan had to be like, "You're doing road rage in a parking lot. Do you not realize that?" And I'm like, no. And so it was just at one point, I'm like, we got to change my medication. This is so, but for Tom, it was the only thing that helped. So we all react differently to different medications
I
because we're
take
not,
I go to a holistic facilitator. She helped me a lot with that, with
that's
anxiety
wonderful.
and stuff like that.
And wow, Sandy Black, good evening, sir, all the way from the UK. How are you, my dear? Thanks for joining us.
Hello,
And
hello.
I'm sloppy. I get sloppy drunk. Yeah, we don't.
Wait, if
Yeah,
you're from the UK, what time is it now? 10, 11,
it's
12, 2,
probably,
2 in the morning.
yeah, for me, I'm all the way over on the other side. So, but yeah, they pop in every now and then and say hi. So, thank you, dear sir, for
That's
popping in and
wonderful.
saying hello. So, we are at 6:06. Do we want to open? Is there anything else you want to talk about, or should we see if anyone's got questions?
Yeah, let's see if anybody got questions.
Anybody got questions?
Or
So,
wanna,
everybody knows no politics.
let's just do like a message for my guide.
No legal
Angel.
questions. Well, with legal and health, we can kind of take a look, but I steer clear of political stuff.
Or
But
health.
if you're not sure, still go ahead and put them, in caps, for us to see. And
Yeah, no health and no legal as well for me. You can
so
do that with Heather.
1:06 a.m. right now in the UK.
All
So
right.
it's already Saturday.
You know,
You're,
that's good because then we know tomorrow is good. It's still here. Because
there
we
you
got
go.
somebody from the future. We're
Yep.
playing, we're from your past. So all is well.
I'm gonna. Whoop, I'm all out of tea.
Me,
Um.
I'm usually in bed by 1 o'clock though.
Oh, so for Nancy, gabapentin is like placebo. Absolutely no effect at all. So anyone, just go ahead, or if someone just wants a general, just put general in there too. Still talking about meds. Okay, everyone's saying hi to Sandy. So we could always start off with a collective for the weekend. Get a message for
Okay,
going on for the weekend. You want to do that?
sure.
So I'm going to keep this card out and use this as a focus for my tarot cards.
We're gonna make that the theme with the blind faith, which is perfect.
Mhm.
Cause you know what card popped up, guys, that goes with blind faith? Disappointment.
Hmm.
So it goes back to the labyrinth thing. Like, what we're gonna do? You're gonna give up when you're in the labyrinth and you have to try and get out, or you hit the wall. Blind faith, not in a way that you're being delusional, but kind of like let's move forward, let's keep going. Because like this card, I don't know what accent that came out. You know, it got cup that are knocked down, but you still have opportunity, two more opportunity. So even though like things are really challenging worldwide, we that blind faith help. That's and some of you do have faith. You don't even have to do blind faith because you're just that kind of person. I'm getting that. Which is I'm going by faith. But there are times when I have done by blind faith. It's kind of like you're kind of faking it till you make it. But that's very important. Like, are you going to give up because you had disappointment? We're seeing a lot of disappointing things. A lot of disappointing things, right? What's going on? But there's still cup up. You want to add anything to that, Heather?
Yeah, my cards for the blind faith are the tangible energy for us going into the weekend is the King of Cups. And so the King of Cups energy, this is beautiful, making sure that when we have any interactions, including with ourselves, with others, come from a place where we're grounded in our emotions, making sure we're grounded. Because when we're grounded, especially with our emotions, we're able to have more, maybe more compassion for others, for ourselves, and that King of Cups, it's for me. It feels like the full expression of connecting with your intuition, with our emotions, with love and compassion and kindness that are within all of us. And with the king, they're able to know when to just give enough. Because there's times when we have people who, energy vampires. We may have people, and they may not even know it. So we need to make sure that, again, our boundaries are set, that we know what we can give emotionally to people. But for me, this card is just making sure that with the blind faith, I'm feeling like this needs to be more of a focus for us on an individual basis. That King of Cups, showing ourselves compassion, showing ourselves empathy, and being able to hold that space for us ourselves. And the underlying energy is the Ten of Wands. So there is a lot of burdens that are placed upon us by others, things that we see, on the news that might be, or things that are part of our family or our everyday part of life, maybe with work. But right now, the underlying energy is that Ten of Wands. So there's a heaviness, there's a burden. Sometimes things that we collect, let's put those down this weekend and instead have faith in ourselves, um, and show ourselves that same love and compassion and kindness that we would show with others. So that's what I got.
It's
And
funny
this is
that you
my
mentioned. No, I'm gonna say funny. It goes along compassion, the Empress. Um, and then we have like the the because we're gonna hear a lot about the military. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to do politics, but what happened is like there's a lot of people are leaving. They're not gonna tolerate. They're not gonna play into the game, even though it's happening. You already see like a lot of leaders. They're like, we're not gonna help you out to the current orange man. They're leaving it, and military people are leaving. They're pretending they fail. I don't know if you guys heard, like they said that a lot of military people are failing the P test. They're purposely putting drugs because they don't want to go into a
I
league.
didn't hear that, but okay.
So here goes. I enjoy life and everything had to offer. So going back with compassion that Heather talks about and blind faith, right? In the context of not being like delusional, but like kind of like, what are you gonna do? Give up? You're disappointed with what's going on. No, we're gonna focus and keep going forward. So one of it is, for example, Heather did painting. So you guys have to do things that in the midst of all this chaos, do things that you feel connected and makes you feel like, oh, it's good. Like I'm doing things more now that I feel better. I had the past year I wasn't feeling great and I'm starting to feel better again. So it still doesn't mean that things are not happening. It is, but it's like we still got to look at the gratitude and appreciation of things around us. For example, Heather taking courses, the 3-week program. So it's a little thing. Be careful where you get your news from. That's true. That's true too.
Mhm.
So if you want to continue.
No, that was it for my cards
Okay.
for the collective.
Oh, I'm good
And
with
we,
that.
and we did
Danny,
have
is there
three
anything
requests.
from that you want to add to? Hey, we're all a bit intuitive. You could add to this.
Going to chat as well. So
Yeah.
up next we have Jax. She would like a weekend reading. And Allison says, be extremely careful where you get your news from. Yes. And Irene, bye, Irene. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. She's another one of our Canadian friends. So, Jax.
Well, did somebody ask the question though? Me.
Yeah, I'm going to go in order. So Jax, and
So,
then
are we doing general?
for Jax, she would like a weekend reading.
Okay. I wish I had my oracle deck. I don't know where they are.
Shay, Magic with Moonlight, where have you been, girl? How's it going? Good to see you. What you been up to? All righty. I'm going to change out the hush. So many decks. So little time. Oh, honey, don't worry about specific questions.
You know what? You're helping. You're saying you just want to know for the weekend. So it's not that general. Because then I would be like, oh, God. You just want to know what's going on for this weekend. The help.
Breathing, rolling on the floor, laughing, breathe. Well, it's good to breathe. We got to remember to do that. So for Jax.
I'm kind of curious for you, Jax, because even though you're having the challenges that you were mentioning earlier, you got pretty nice cards. So I don't know if you're having company or something. Because the first card came up with the 2 of Cups. So and then you got a person or something, and then you got the 4 of Wands. So it says in this card, I'm surrounded by life and energy. It flows into and out of me and breathe. So what I'm getting is, in the midst of all the stuff you're having, there's a person you're meeting or some kind of get together. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So that's why you have this. So you have your son's 18th birthday. Okay, so in the midst of all that, just enjoy the moment of that this weekend. It's showing in the card. It's a nice card. This probably your son, right? And then the get together. So what I'm getting is that environment and that simple thing. It's exactly what you need. It's like the medicine that you're not getting. You know, the little bit of that medicine that's soothing you in the midst of all this. What about you, Heather?
So Jax, my dear, yeah, I got a nice card there too. I got a couple nice ones. So from the resurrection, I got joyful moments. So celebrating those moments where, despite with everything that's going on, those little tiny victories, those tiny little moments that keep you going, that give you hope, that keep the faith alive. Embrace that. And with sunflowers, I don't know what you guys' weather's going to be like this weekend in Florida. Maybe gain out and gain some sun,
card.
gain some vitamin D.
That's a beautiful card.
It's pretty. So your top energy, it's interesting. Silvia got the King of Swords. For you, I got the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is someone who has been hurt. She kind of holds, into traditional, the sword is up, to kind of protect the heart. Here, she's got it a little bit lowered. So she understands things that are going on, things that have brought her hurt, but she's also a great communicator. So for me, this is about allowing you. So for me, this is, how do I say this? This is a place that you're coming from where this weekend you're going to have to communicate your needs, because like a lot of people know Jax is going through some stuff. So this weekend, I know it's Finn's birthday, but maybe being able to use some of those swords and say, listen, I really am hurt. I feel hurt. Your spirit is hurt. But yes, I'm still going to be able to keep my heart open. But you're going to also, it's going to be that tough love where it's going to be like, listen, I need the help. You need to, I'm not saying you need to, so let me rephrase that. There is
You
need.
better.
there is need for communication with those in your circle of needs that are going to need to be met, and boundaries that are going to need to be respected. Your underlying energy is the Three of Cups. So beautiful celebration with Vin's birthday. And also, again, celebrating those small victories when you find moments where the pain is not so bad, or you are being distracted from the pain because you're celebrating your baby's birthday. But again, that Queen of Wands being very, try to be as strict, or suggesting to be as strict and straightforward in your communication with what your needs are, especially with, what you're currently going through.
You know what
And
it
that's
reminds
what I
me
have for
of
you,
when
my
you say
dear.
that? My mother had, health issues, and she's still vibrant, like kind of like your attitude. But she had, back issues, she had this, she had that. So when we bring her out, she also has to be
Oh,
like, I'm gonna take it easy, but I'm having fun with other people. But I have to sit down. Like she's saying, if it's, you have to know your boundary. That way you can enjoy yourself. Um, yeah. So
there,
what
Uncle John. Nice. So yeah,
you follow the
establish.
glimmers. Oh, I learned that with through Gerald Harris.
Hmm. Let's see, Arnold Schwarzenegger coming in to pick Jax up and put her down. Oh, calling in the troops. Let's see, we have 3 seasons in one day. It's funny, but the afternoons are very nice right now. So enjoy the moment, enjoy the sun, enjoy. And again, too, sometimes they refer to birthdays as a solar return. And with that beautiful card of joyful moments and the sunflower,
It's so
enjoy
beautiful.
and celebrate, Vin's solar return as well. And the seated walker helps, yes. And what, wait a minute, Jax, hear me now and listen later. Hans and Franz, and I don't know who that is.
It was like SNL, and
Okay.
they were imitating Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they would do like what he does, and they would wear this gym outfit, and they go, "Oh, I don't know how to explain it, but you could just
Yeah.
put Brendan Fonz
Yeah. She said
SNL."
SNL. Yeah.
By the way, Moonfox was replying before she knew that it was about her, Jack going to her son's thing. She said, when I mentioned, "Oh, I see a celebration and a man," Moon said, "I was gonna say Jack's getting a big hunky man coming over." You never know. So
Oh, Jax. Yeah. Allison's like Hans and Franz. Yeah.
you know what we're talking about, Allison, right? Been a while. Who played it? I forget.
So Sybil would like, and her name is Tina. She would like a general love.
Okay, Sybil.
I'll see what I can do because I don't have cards for love rings, but let's see what we get, Tina.
This weekend? We're doing the weekend thing or just
No,
general?
she just wants a general love reading. They were hilarious. I love their weight belts. Yeah, Jax will send me a link.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure there's on YouTube. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Oh, I'm focusing on Hans and Franz. I focus on Sybil, excuse me. I'll be like, I see 2 men. We want to pump you up.
Pump up the value, pump up the value, pump up the value. Dance. Sorry, right? I just got, when I heard the pump up, all I could hear was that great song. So
They were like, we want to pump you up. Been a long time since I saw that. Sybil. I see Sybil with 2 men in the gym, and they're just so working out. General love.
well, this is a very interesting card, Tina. And let me just, because I haven't used this deck in a while, and the card is your first time. So it's like a virgin. Sorry, I was just about to go into Madonna. And the key word is no inhibitions. And I'm looking at this in connection with. Wow, this is really interesting.
Why don't you start?
So Tina, We're going to go with this first card, and I'm just going to go with the flow of what I'm getting here. So it says here, you experience many first times in your life, from intimacy to food to family situations, trying something new, experiencing someone new, visiting someplace new. All this should be exciting, filling you with anticipation and a dash of nerves. You're not always going to like each different experience, nor will any experience be the same. Close your eyes and imagine this first time as a gift, because no matter what, there will never be this first moment again. So it's talking about surrendering to the person, the relationship, etc. No preconceived ideas, no inhibitions. And it says here, the worst thing that could happen is you don't fully enjoy and appreciate the moment, or perhaps you feel awkward in the situation. At least you can say, I tried honestly and fully. So when it comes to your reading about a general love, um, I'm looking at your tarot and your top card, your tangible energy, something that's physical, that is the Two of Swords. And so right now, the Two of Swords, that's again about trusting a decision, kind of like at a crossroads, a stalemate. You're at a point where I need to make a decision. I have to figure out which direction to go. And with her eyes being closed, I mean, this has got to be one of my favorite, if not the favorite, Two of Swords, because she has that blind faith card. She's got her eyes covered, and she's got those two large swords, and she knows exactly where they are coming together in the back. She's blindfolded. So this is telling you to be able to listen to your heart, yes, but there's also that sense of being practical, being clear-headed, clear thinking, and when making this decision. So this is the tangible energy. So because it feels like there may be somebody that you are interested in, or there may be a certain path to follow, or a way that you feel that you are taking to maybe meet somebody. Your underlying energy is interesting. It's the Hierophant. And so the Hierophant is about tradition. It's about, of course, it could be, a place of learning. It's basically keys with wisdom to who we are. And I'm just wondering, just go with me on this. It may be because of the traditions or ways that you were raised, whether religious, in home, whatever this was, it may give you pause with that Two of Swords, and having to make a decision of with this the search for love, and with the card about your first time inhibitions. It's about, I feel like, trusting in yourself, trusting in your heart. Again, it's the balance between the heart and the mind, and the underlying energy of possibly being influenced from something that might be dogmatic, that might be traditional, with a religion, a spirituality. But here, let me pull an extra card. Let me get a little more feeling on. Hold on a second. That's just an interesting. So, your first time. Because there's a first time for everything, and maybe trusting in that moment. So your clarifier for your first time card, trusting, no inhibition, is the Fool. So yes, is that so there? I don't know if there's going to be somebody that you already have your eye on, and you're trying to figure out, maybe tradition wise, do I make the first move, or is there's going to be someone coming in where they're going to make you want to trust, let go of your inhibitions. That Fool card, take that leap of faith, go for it. There's going to be some sort of potential coming to you. That underlying energy, this could be, again, maybe considering what your tradition is, again, your upbringing. This could be a spiritual factor involved, or this could very well be a sense of connecting with spirit. But the keys of wisdom, they're within you. And you just have to learn how to block everything out, go within, trust yourself, make the decision. And I love the fool to go with the first time. So it may be something that you would never do before. You might go on a dating online app. You might see somebody out and about, and you've never gone ahead and say hi. You're not made the first move. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see what Sylvia got.
Well, I need some feedback, but okay. Going with what you said, what I'm getting is that are you really ready? Could I sense you're highly guarded, and even though you are looking at the bigger picture in regard general love, yeah, you're highly guarded. Okay, then all right, nothing, not bad or good. So it's like you're working on you have you got to be yourself. You're guarded, so you don't want to be a different person than what you are. But you're working on developing to become a person who could be less guarded. Because even though you're open, I mean, you're ready, you're asking about love, you're way too guarded. Okay. And that kind of like, you can't really push yourself. It's like you're kind of stinking yourself. Like that's why you got the two of sword that Heather talking about. Like you're ready, but if you're highly guarded, that means you're not really ready. But it's okay. That's a good awareness. Like, okay, I get this being highly guarded. It really preventing to the next step. But you're working at it. I see you working at it to make it happen. So that's a good thing. But just be aware that you're not as ready as you think. And that matters to know. So, yeah, true. Okay. So we're not talking to ourselves. You know what I mean? So once you do that, I do see somebody coming about. However, your being on guard is really strong. So just work through that. And, because then that energy will open up once you're like, wow, I'm really guarded. I'm going to have to take some blind faith, going back to the theme from before, and do that 50-50. Like you've been disappointed, da, da, da. So sometimes it goes like, I may get disappointed again, but I have to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that kind of vibe going on. And it mainly it's about something about self-love and this or that. But I do see a possibility. I don't see like a single card, but here you are. This is you. I'm going to show it to you. See how guarded here you are? And here you got the 7 of coin, which is like, are you really ready? Because you really want to make it happen. You're really going out there. You have your willpower. 51st date. So, what I keep getting like a new identity. Did that make sense? Like you really working on having a different attitude, and that's helpful. So that could be that this is how you've been. So you're gonna start letting it go, that guardedness, and that will help you to manage those feelings. And then I see some kind of movement happening. But a lot of it had to do with like not only it's about actually your self-worth kind of bit, Sybil. But I see that 2 of cups. That looks good. So it's more like I'm not telling you that you're gonna have this and that, but it's more like I'm telling you this what I see what you want to do, but you're still way too guarded. You gotta allow yourself to be disappointed. Do the blind faith thing. It's like a maze. You don't really see what's going on. When you have that blindfold, you ever think of like driving a car at nighttime? You can't really see that far. You only can see what the light is on the road. So that's kind of like you may want to know, everything, but you're not going to see it. So that's the blind faith kind of. You're just taking a little by little going forward, and it'll get you to the goal. So the good thing about you is you had the 3 of Wands, Because the 2-of-Wands is the person who's waiting. You're not waiting. You're actually doing things. With the 3-of-Wands, they're actually doing some proactive things. So that's good. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, it's interesting. We both got twos. The 2 of Swords, and then you got the 2 of Cups.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we get similar
It wasn't
numbers.
like the last card could have been like a miserable card, but it wasn't. So
That's why
fine.
I put 51st dates in there, because sometimes we have to keep having date after date, but with each one, just enjoy the moment if you can with them, and you learn a little bit of something about yourself. And but
That's a
yeah.
great analogy, Heather. That's good for even for me. Like I have that. She knows I'm single, and I have a lot of like that too. I could relate to you a little bit, still, Sybil. You got to just keep going. That's all we could do. Otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere.
All right.
But it
Thank you
may
for
be that you think you're ready, but you have to kind of clean that up. See. All
Good.
right.
You're welcome,
Cat
Tina.
Goddess. Ooh.
Now, Cat Goddess, I read for you on this the other day. Do you want to have something more specific for me, or do you still want me to do the same reading? Let me know.
Why don't you because she already read you on this, let's go to next further. Whatever, like make a story, like what the question after this that you done already with Heather.
Huh?
Especially I didn't hear it. No, my point is she already kind of heard a little bit for you with this similar question. So let's add to it. How can you reframe it or add dimension to it? Especially I didn't see it. So you may get a different insight.
She said, huh? It's okay. Never mind, guys. We'll just, because Kat, you've asked this question, I think, a couple
All right. Well, why
times,
don't we keep it simple? Let's do that. She's happy with that
and
question.
and so we can just
Okay. What unexpected blessing, miracle, positive change?
yeah,
I like
well,
that.
unexpected. So I
That's a
got a
good.
card that flipped out anyway, so
Okay.
you're good.
I like it. You're not like focusing on, doom and gloom. You're putting that intention out. I was complicating things, huh? I like to add dimension to things. All right, here we go. People to keep it simple sometimes. Good positivity.
Well, isn't that interesting? He showed up again.
Oh. What card showed up again?
You'll see.
Okay.
I'll keep you guessing. Keep you all in suspense.
Okay.
Go around here, please.
You've been working on a project with something, especially with others. But you're very determined. So, if I'm getting, when you set your mind, you will get to the goal. The thing is, you're kind of stepping away from the main, whatever your thing is, you're kind of going on your way. You kind of try to do it yourself in order to get to the goal. But what they're telling me, even with your strong will, you got to rely on others a little bit, or whatever situation you had with others. I see other people. So the miracle would be like, that your goal is going to be met, because you do have strong will, but you kind of have to rely. It could even be like relying on your divine, to have that miracle. Even though you believe in the miracle and transformation, you're still kind of used to doing it. So they might be asking you to either rely on somebody else or rely on your spirit guide in order to achieve your goal. So that's what I'm getting. What you're getting, Heather?
I need to look up something really quick. Look at this. And Salam, I got your question, my dear. We should have enough time for you. Here.
I like the only new people.
Yes. Selma used to work, I think somebody you said it was for 15 years or so. She used to work for the UN.
Oh, oh, that's interesting.
So I just want to compare something to one of these cards. Hmm.
Yeah, Jax. Enjoy your weekend. Take it easy,
Yes, my
as I
dear,
said.
please.
Oh,
So,
Ethiopia. Wow. Are you in
mhm.
there or you're
Yeah, she's in
there?
Ethiopian.
Okay, so you're living there. That's amazing.
So, one unexpected
We're all
blessings.
one, We're all living in oneness. That's the ideal goal. Got your feet up.
So,
Good.
cat, I feel like there might be an underlying question or something maybe a little more definitive because from my oracle deck, I got not in the cards. So there's something maybe that you already have in mind for this very moment, but saying here, not quite in the cards yet. So your tangible energy is the King of Pentacles. So right now this energy is moving slow. So the the Knight of Pentacles, slowest moving knight. He's a more laid back, likes to take his time, being able to get the lay of the land, being able to basically strategize, see how things are before rushing forward. He does not he wants things, he likes to look at things in a practical perspective, practical. He can be very tenacious as well because he has that patience, and just this energy is feeling is going to take some time. It's a little bit slower. That's why I'm getting that in the cards. Your underlying energy, the Hierophant came back out again. And so I have a book, and I love how she poses questions for the cards. And with the Hierophant, what stood out to me is find a mentor. And then she also asked, what uncertainties could you eliminate from your life by following a conventional path? At this time, the desire to belong can be powerful. In what groups can you find a feeling of support? So right now, it feels like there's something that um, either you know that you're actively searching for something, or you feel that there's something coming to you. So what I'm getting is there's a group, something you're moving towards. This is what's taking the night a while to get there, is because this energy is making sure that you don't want to rush into anything. Not in the cards means not right now. You want to be prepared. You want to take your time. Night, Allison. Um, and so I got asked for a clarifier for you, and I got the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is that beautiful card of potential for new emotions, new experiences, um, trusting in the intuition. So this card with the Hierophant feels like there is a group of people or a tradition, a way of thinking, being, celebrating, being spiritual, that is going to bring this beautiful sense of emotional. I want to say this sense of emotional. Um, it's like it feels like things are very dry. Things are very rudimentary. Kind of goes with the energy sometimes when you follow a strict tradition, um, where things feel like lackluster, where there's a sense of just being, I just keep when I say dry, like feelings like a dry desert, where what opportunities, what things just feel dry, things feel like they feel dead, like there's no emotion. It's like things being done by rote. And with this cup, with this ace, it's like this beautiful influx of refreshment, of emotions, excitement. There's the sense of possibility coming to you, especially connecting with your psychic or intuitive gifts. So right now, that's the underlying energy. Let that carry you. And again, the Nine of Pentacles is a slower moving energy. And so for me, that's what's the tangible. So it feels like whatever this is that you are in search of, you're coming from a place where you take your time, you're practical, you don't rush in, and you like to see things from, different perspectives before making a choice or making a decision. And that's what I have for you, my dear. Thank you for laying, Silvia, and I read for you. All righty. I absolutely love Tina Gaughan's book. This is amazing. I
Is
love
that a
how
new
she
book
does.
for you? Or how
Oh
long you
no,
have?
I've had it for a while. Yeah, it's a great book. It was at Barnes and Noble, and it came with a basic form of one of her cards. She's Labyrinthos.com, and she used a generic version of one of her decks to be sold at through Barnes and Noble. I got this like I think 4 or 5 years ago, and it was $25 for that whole book and a deck of cards. So I like her insights. So you are welcome, my dear. Well, sometimes she does. Sometimes she likes to hold things to herself. She doesn't necessarily share.
Okay.
So share if you
Mother got your back. She got your back, Kat.
if not. So
So what do you like about that book? Because there's so many books. Like particularly, what do you like about that book? That because there's so many tarot book. You know what I mean?
well, I like how she breaks everything down. She breaks okay, well, we got another reading to do, and I'm going to have to go soon, but what I love is she breaks down, gives a general minor arcana numerology, keywords for ace through the 10. She breaks down the major arcana from the conscious, the unconscious to the superconscious. And then for
Oh,
each of the
cool.
cards, she has basic keywords, but then she has interpretation, reflection, action,
Oh,
where she
yeah.
includes some questions and things. So, and it's not hard to read. She breaks things down very, very nice. It's clean. It's a clean
Yeah.
read. So,
Structured.
and Gerald and I did a deck casual on that. I think just either after I got here or before I left New York. So, all
That's nice.
righty.
Clean and to the point.
Yeah, there's not. I like something that's for me to see a whole bunch of stuff on the page and try to read. I mean, I like how she breaks everything down where you can read things, at least for me, easily. So Selema is here. Hello, ladies. May I have a reading for the month of April, please? You may, my dear. Let's see what we can get. And we all know energy can change. So this is just a tentative look because, we do have, free will to a certain extent in our lives. And there's always a potential for a shift or change in energy. But how are you doing, my dear? Any luck on the job front? So April.
Oh, thank you, Jack.
Yeah, Jax is puts all of our links or information into the chats. She's a mod extraordinaire. All my mods are wonderful. But another same card that came out. Ooh, ah. Yes, I know you're here, my dear. Let's see. Thank you for letting us know, though. I appreciate that because sometimes people jump back and forth between shows and things and they don't let you know that they left or so. Did you want to go or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
So, for April, Salama, you did get the lament card. Okay, honey. And lament is about letting go. And they're talking about crying, mourning, grief. And I know from reading in the past for you, you've been going through quite a bit because of having, lost your job and, currently looking for one. So the positive thing though is when we let go of the past, let go. I mean, it's good to cry, it's good to let things out. But this letting go opens up that energy for us to bring new things in. Your top card is the Three of Cups. So what I love about this, For April, it feels like you are connecting with people. You're connecting on a emotional and intuitive level. The Three of Cups is also about people celebrating you and supporting you. So as you're going through this letting go process, this grief, you do have people that are celebrating you, um, uplifting you, and you may even have some maybe positive good news on the way that will show this Three of Cups, because the Three of Cups again, emotional celebration, happiness, joy. And I absolutely love that card. The artwork is beautiful. Your underlying energy is the Temperance card. And so the Temperance is about things that we don't want to hear: patience, moderation. This is about making sure that we're grounded, we're balanced. And when we making sure that as we move through, especially with this grief, letting go, and looking for or connecting with new people, new support systems, that by when we fill one cup, how do I say this with this card? Let me think, because I want to say filling one cup to fill up another, but so this is the alchemy card, Salama. Okay. And the alchemy is about creating something out of different elements. So usually it's one cup being poured into the other. These two cups are being joined. So for me, there is when we have patience and and we have moderation and we're grounded in our physical being and our emotions, that allows us to um, pour our intention. It allows us to one is so Salama, let me pull another card for you, sweetheart. I know what the mess, but there just feels like there's something needs to be added to that, because with the it's the art card in Thoth, and it's about creating, it's mixing, it's alchemizing, it's bringing everything together. So it feels like there are things that are coming together for you, being able to pour, your emotions, your to me this feels like the emotions, the experiences, everything, it's being alchemized in maybe a subtle way that you may or may not feel, and it's leading to that emotional celebration, celebrating with others. And I would even love to say that this energy from this top card could very well be that job, and entertainment purposes only. But I'm feeling like with this, it's moving towards something where now that you're letting energy go and you're opening yourself up to something new, it almost feels like this Three of Cups might be going out and celebrating something new that's coming into your life. That could be, again, jobs. This could be new connections with people. It just feels very positive. So with that, okay, with the moderation, what we have to let go of is the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords can be about strategy, yes, and moving forward, but it's also the card of acknowledging, that there was a sense of betrayal, or the feeling of being betrayed. And I know you shared that in the past with this job, but turning this around, like with those cups, taking that experience, using it to strategize as well, and bringing in this new energy as you're letting go of the old and welcoming something new and beautiful this month. So that's what I have for you, my dear.
Great methods. Nice suggestion. So Thelma, I'm glad you hinted with something about the job. Um, so this is April, not like forever. The 30 days, the 31 days. Knowing a little bit from what Heather said, you're at time of observing because you don't really want to go backward. You don't. You want to do something different. Um, Something that's exciting and something that you feel more passionate about. But it's so slow. The process is being slow, but it gives you like some kind of motivation. It's like it kind of um, it kind of like brings you up. But April, it looks this entertainment purposes only. I'm just reading. I'm not. It looked like I don't. You're like observing, and you're just like kind of seeing where you're going with this newness because you keep wanting to go back to what you're familiar with because things are not happening quick enough. Um, so money the issue. Worrying about things, but I feel like more like toward the summer and again entertainment purpose only summer and fall when things are happening. Right now, you're working through your anxiety, but you feel motivated at the same time because of this idea of, well, what else can I do? Yet, even though you get tempted to go to what's familiar, you know, um, because it's safe, what you know. Um, so that's what you're going to continue to feel in April. In April, you're going to continue to feel like that betrayal or that whatever hurt. But at the same time, you're feeling motivated. Like, what can I do? I don't think you know exactly, but you're having, you're still in a situation where you're having challenges in April because things are not moving enough. Um, but I see more things moving forward more toward the summer and the fall. And you have to work through your anxiety because when your anxiety kicks in, it tends to make you want to go backward, like go what you're familiar with. Um, but that's normal. That's very normal. We want to go back to what's safe. And so you're basically working with your emotion right now. Dealing with your emotion because you're like all over the place. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, da 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 da, and then when things don't work out quick enough for you, you go back. But then you have this side of you like, I could do it. Like I'm motivated to do this next step, but then it's not fast enough. But we're just talking about April, so it's only 30 days. Um, so just be with that emotion. That's what it is. Like riding the wave. Kind of
So
going with what the theme been since we started that with blind faith bit.
letting go and
Taking
go
a
to faith.
chance. Um, and I'm looking at another card. I'm grounded and at peace. When do I feel most peaceful? You're not going to always feel peaceful, but that's okay. You go back and forth. I feel peaceful, then I don't feel at peace. You're kind of just riding the wave of it, working through your emotion. So, but you're getting motivated. It gives you clarity. No, just know that it's normal. That's what I'm getting. Just know that it's normal, and keep moving forward. I mean, the last two cards. You got the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Coins. So I saw this that summer and fall, but also it's new beginning motion. But that's after April more. But just on April, keep moving forward, even regardless of you not knowing what's going on. Being blindfolded, being like in that labyrinth and that blind faith and all that jazz. So I hope that was helpful. Thelma.
Salama.
Salama.
Salama. So thank you, my dear, for letting us read for you. Thank you, everybody, for joining
Thank you
Silvia.
for having me.
And so, you got anything upcoming on your channel you want to share with
Yes.
anybody?
Yes. Tomorrow, I took like an 8-month, 9-month break. So I've been coming on, but not as often on my channel. So finally, things are moving. So I have Heather tonight, making me feel good to be here, reconnect with her and doing the readings. Also getting that interesting news, the timing about,
Mm-hmm.
the update. But tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to have Cherry from Voices from the Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
On April 2nd, her name is Judy Robinson at 1 p.m. Thursday, April 2nd, on my channel. On April 9th, Thursday, and this I planned this for months ahead. It's not like it just happened. All these people were like 4 or 5 months ahead. Gerald from Tower Stash, we're gonna do on Hold My Beer versus Hold My Mirror. Cause he's into the cards. Kind of like that's why I like Heather. I like to watch them do the Oracle cards. We're gonna do that. That's gonna be at 8 p.m. Eastern, April 9th. And then April 16th, I'm going to have Ali Martin from Heart and Soul Connection. That's going to be at 6 p.m. And if any of you are interested in collaborating with me or just subscribe, and if go to A Bit Intuitive and you're from my channel, please subscribe to Heather by Breathbone Indigo Ash. And the message I have, let's just keep going, moving forward, going with the blind faith, do the best we can, continue following our intuition, and let's enjoy the community as we continue. So thank you again, Heather. I really appreciate this.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me. And I might do a pop-up this weekend, but I do have Jackie B joining me on the Sacred Feminine this Monday. So definitely looking forward to having her. So to find out what we're doing next, hit that like button, share, subscribe, and all that good YouTube-y stuff. And we will see everybody in the next chat or live. And everyone have a good weekend.
Take care.
Bye-bye.